Welcome back to the Football Terrace. Hit the like and the share buttons. Galatasaray 3, Tottenham 2. But that doesn't tell the full picture. That is not the story of the night. It was, in truth, a battering. A battering in Turkey tonight for Tottenham Hotspur. Yes, they scored 2 goals. 2 very well created and taken goals for Tottenham. But overall, they were robbed of possession too easily. They were poor in their play. They were so easy to get at defensively. And it really should have been. If it hadn't have been for Fraser Forster in goal, this would have been 6, 7, 8, 9, or even 10. Sometimes you look at the stats and they don't tell you the full picture of a game. Sometimes you look at the score and they don't tell you the full picture of a game. Tonight, the stats tell you everything that you need to know. 28 shots to 5. Galatasaray more passes. Galatasaray completed more dribbles. Galatasaray completed more interceptions. They actually got more tackles. They won the aerial drills. They had more touches. They lost possession almost half the amount of times. This was nothing other than a beatdown. Big Ange played a few kids, one of which who scored tonight. I felt really, really sorry for. I want to make sure for Will Langshire. Scored a really good goal, ends up getting himself sent off as well. I think maybe he forgot he was booked. I'm not too sure. It was a second yellow and he was sent off the football pitch. Ironically, that was actually when they improved. That's actually when Tottenham improved, is when they went down to 10 men. They became a little bit more conservative. They were a little bit more compact and they were harder to break down. And Galatasaray lost a little bit of their... I think they became a bit fatigued. They pressed so well. They made it so difficult for Tottenham. It kind of killed the game, the red card. I actually think they would have conceded more goals. But overall tonight, Tottenham, look, if you look at the score, you'll say narrow defeat. If you watch the game with your eyes that God gave you, it was a battering. It was an absolute beatdown. Victor Osimhen, listen, he had 2 or 3 really good chances saved by Forster. But there's a player in there. There's a finisher in there. There's a prolific individual. The space he finds. I was just. You ever seen that meme of the guy eating fried chicken? And every time he takes a bite, he puts it down. He's like, oh. That's what I felt like watching Osimhen tonight. I absolutely love what it was that he was doing out there on the field of play. I was really, really impressed with him. Look, Galatasaray got some decent players, but let's not beat around the bush. A lot of that team are sort of old Premier League players. What done Tottenham tonight? Listen, Galatasaray did well. I'm giving them credit. I'm not taking anything away from them. They pressed well. They created opportunities. They used up a lot of energy. But Tottenham was so poor on the ball. And this is the problem with the manager. This is where I look at the manager as the issue here. You go to one of the most intimidating stadiums in the world. I don't think there are many places more intimidating than playing away at Galatasaray. I just don't think that can happen. You put out 2 or 3 really young kids. You rotate your first team. And I understand you won your first 3 games, but I think that it's a recipe for disaster. And you know what? Fraser Forster is the reason why I think that they walk away from this Spurs damaged, but not badly hurt. Had he not made those saves and this had gone to 4, to 5, to 6, to 7, a lot of confidence could have been damaged in this game. I want to get your thoughts, your feelings, your opinions on this as well. There's a few super chats that have come through. First says 13 goals, 9 assists, 22 GA. Respect, Marosh banger. Listen, the opening goal. Let's just call the opening goal, right? Or am I absolutely dizzy here? Is that who we're talking about? Or are we talking about somebody else? Because if we're not talking about who I think we're talking about. No, we're talking about who are you talking about? Who's Marosh? I don't know who that is. I didn't think it was a name. I didn't recognize the name. Who is it? He's an Egyptian footballer. Who's he play for? Oh, is he in another game? Is it another match on tonight? Fair enough. I'll go and take a look a little bit later. The opening goal, by the way, from Yilmaz. Out of this world. I actually don't know who the person you're talking about. Never heard of him. I'm going to go and research him, though. That's how you learn, don't you? Hit the like button, people. Thank you, Luke Skywalker, for telling us that Omar Is it Marouche, Egyptian footballer here? What is he, 25 years of age? Who's he playing for? Is it Frankfurt? The kit looks like Frankfurt. Okay, I'll go and do some research on him. I'm not too familiar. He's a forward, I see. So I'll go and do some research on that, my friend. Tottenham saw Man United last year and said, hold my beer. You just got to be more compact when you play against them. It's as simple and it's as straightforward as that, really. It's just the way the cookie crumbles. Everyone's saying he's a baller. I'll go check him out, people. I'll go have a look at him. You know, one thing I'll never do is lie to my audience like I know who all the players in the world are. Never been like that. It's weird when people do it because I don't think anybody, other than Strasbourg Steve, he's the only person that I believe knows everybody that's on. There was a comment I wanted to go to before I bring out some of the panel. Embarrassing performance. I agree. I think it was embarrassing tonight for Tottenham. It was about Victor Osimhen, though. Where's the comment gone? Where's it gone? He did miss a sitter. Yeah, he did, but that didn't worry me. Do you know what? Do you know why it didn't worry me when he missed some chances? Kept on finding space, kept on working, kept on attempting these efforts on goal. I love that confidence in Victor Osimhen. There's a player in there. There's a top player. Remember, he just dunked. He just dunked on a Premier League team. I'm telling you, he can do it in the Premier League. Chelsea, Arsenal, you should be looking at this man absolutely in the summer. Henry's here with me now. Henry, it ended up 3-2. The scoreline looks sort of respectable.
Yeah.
The underlying stats and the performance maybe tell a different story. What are you saying?
Yeah, the scoreline's flattering, but that performance, the first 60 minutes is a fucking joke, mate. What on earth are we doing? What on earth? Like, Ange gambled tonight. He went with, 3 teenagers. Archie Gray was the better of the 3. He played Lancashire. Fair enough. He got his goal. Bergvall, the occasion got to him. He was all over the place. But tonight, James Maddison, I can see why he's holding the bench. He was abysmal. Absolutely abysmal. Do you know how many times he kicked the ball out of play? 6. 6 times. It didn't even just reach the target. It went out of fucking play.
He tackled himself at one point as well, I saw.
Yeah. Victor Osimhen genuinely could have scored 7 goals tonight. I just want to read something to you. I'm not sure if you've said it yet. Galatasaray had 28 shots.
Yeah.
10 on target and an expected goals of 3.29. We had 5 shots against our line that was higher than ours. You see how high the line was? It was nearly on the halfway line. All you got to do is get Sarr to make a diving run, push that back line back, stop Dominic Solanke. The red card. What is Lancashire doing? Yes, you're naive. You're an inexperienced player, but you're on a yellow card. Don't go and do that. You're asking to be sent off. I don't think the referee had too bad of a game tonight either.
Can I ask you a question about that? Do you think by starting so many youngsters in a hostile environment, maybe getting the starting lineup wrong as well, being under that kind of pressure, do you sort of think Big Ann just hung those kids, especially Lancashire, who's ended up getting sent off? Do you think he's kind of hung them out to dry a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. He's gone with a massive gamble. Archie Gray, no you doggy. Obviously, no Romero, no Van der Ven. He's played Bergvall, he's played Lancashire. Lancashire's confidence will be shot to bit now because he's just been sent off. Fair enough. He took his goal really, really well. But tonight, majority of that is on Ange. The lineup weren't good enough. And when we're getting absolutely cooked, drop that defensive line by 10 yards. Why are we playing it out from the back? There was more pressure on our back line, right, than a lawyer tearing apart a marriage. We were getting absolutely cooked. Absolutely cooked, mate. Victor Osimhen, I think I counted, he had the ball in the back of the net twice from offside positions. He had 3 headers. He scored twice. So that's 7 shots. And he had 1 from a corner. The Premier League team, like you just said before I come on, Premier League teams have got to be looking at him because he tore us to shreds. Dries Mertens, 37 years of age, and he's run us ragged.
Do you know what's really interesting? This is my biggest bugbear when it comes to Big Ange, is that he doesn't adapt enough in games. He's not even. You want proactivity, but there are times where you need a manager to be reactive and say, "Do you know what we're doing isn't working? Let's start knocking some balls into the channel." As an example, let's give them something they're not expecting. You only actually made the changes and became more compact when you became a better team when you went down to 10 men, which for me is a concern because if you hadn't have gone down to 10 men, you probably would have conceded more goals. That's a sobering fact. And I know they say it's harder to play against 10 men. Absolutely. But your manager's away from home. You go a goal down, you equalize, you're in Europe. What you should be then doing at that point is being hard to break down. You go on the counter. You wait essentially for them to run their legs out a little bit. And if you'd have done that, what you did after going down to 10 men, if you'd have done that, what you would have done is you'd have run their legs out. Then you would have had 11 men versus, and I reckon you could have won the game. But that's on the manager for getting his in-game management wrong and just doing this sort of, it's how we play, mate. And I understand it's his way of doing it. But when you get to them knockout stages, you're going to come a cropper. You're going to come a cropper playing that way, in my personal opinion. You have to, unless you've got the best team in the world like Man City, you have to learn, in my opinion, to adapt in-game to handle those environments. And there's going to be a number of them. If you guys will make the knockout stages, there's a number of places you're going to go to away from home in Europe that are going to be as hostile and as difficult as that.
This year has been horrendous as well. Sorry to cut you off. We've lost to Newcastle, Brighton, Palace. And the only home defeat we've had all season was against Arsenal in the North London derby. We've just lost again away from home. Like, even against Ferner, Ravos, whatever they were called, out in Hungary, they had some good chances.
They did.
Radu Dragusin is supposed to be the guy that comes in when Van der Ven and Romero are injured. He looks awful.
Dragon, bruv. Dragon, it was more like a gecko. I'm going to put it out there. Man ain't a dragon.
He got sent off in this Europa League. We played 4 games and got 2 reds.
He was very poor tonight. Orchi here, one of our Spurs fans who's also Turkish, says, I think he's based out in Istanbul, says, Anne's frustrated me with the starting 11. Kids were not good enough away in Turkey. You have to play your better players. We improved because of subs. Should have subbed Lancashire after the yellow. Yeah, I agree. And the thing is, if you'd have played your full team and lost, I don't think this is damaging. But for some of those kids, can they recover from a performance like that? Thankfully, Forster's saves stopped it from being a historic. Because again, I think the reaction to this game would have been different if you'd have conceded 5, 6, 7 goals. If you were sitting there now 7-2, I think the world would look at the result is probably gonna. And sometimes this might not help you long term. I think the scoreline, the scoreline is going to probably mean the media are not going to put any attention on this game. But actually, I think you should. But I think you should.
30 shots on goal is like, don't get me wrong, Galatasaray are a good side. And I do, if they keep Osimhen throughout, from January to the summer, they will go far in the Europa League because they've got him. He took 2 of his chances tonight. Probably should have had a few more. But for us, Bentancur, as soon as Bentancur come on, we actually had a little bit more control. And like you said, we had more control and we had 10 men. If Lancashire don't get sent off, we lose that game 5 or 6-1 because we would have gone gung-ho, so much space in behind. And they've got Icardi, who's about 33, Mertens, who's 37, our old centre-back in Davinson Sanchez. Like, let's be honest, other than Osimhen, no one's taking any of their players. But they have just absolutely cooked us. Does anyone know who their manager's name is? He's looked at us and went, right, well, that's the blueprint. That's how you beat them. You go at them. We crumbled, absolutely crumbled. If we can't beat Galatasaray away, what happens when we go to, the Portos or Old Trafford on a Thursday night
with Amorim?
Yeah, Ruben. Or I was about to say Sporting, but they're in the Champions League. There's some other top teams in here. Lazio. Yeah. We're gonna get absolutely folded in half.
Mate, I hear you. I really, really do. Look, thank you for jumping on. Viewers, we're going to be live again after Man United versus, I don't know how to pronounce their name, the team they play, plus Chelsea's match as well. So make sure you're back here in about an hour and a half. Alfie's just super chatted, actually, saying, game just gone on my break and seen the score. Makes me feel better after yesterday's loss. Must be a gooner. Who has said that. Now, I know what the team, I don't know how to pronounce that. As a dyslexic, that doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, I'm dyslexic as well, so don't ask me.
So there we go. Two morons trying to read a sign. Listen, everyone who's tuning in, thank you. We're back in about an hour and a half. Take care. Goodbye. God bless. And we'll see you all again very, very soon. Peace.